Duckworth surprisingly left LouCity, but frankly, in typical LouCity fashion, this franchise has not missed a beat.
It's unbelievable how you can replace, certain pieces in certain franchises and nothing changes.
Don't forget that they spent 6 weeks being coached by 3 players 3 years ago, and 2 of those players are still on the team, in Paolo Del Piccolo and George Davis IV. We welcome you to Indy 11 Soccer here on Wish TV and ESPN+. First of 2 between these rivals, separated by a little more than 100 miles of I-65. LouCity is back here on October the 16th. And when these 2 teams last played each other, 5 goals in the opening half. LouCity would find 1 more, the equalizer, in the second half of half number 2. There's Jimenez, who we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast. His 5th year with LouCity, and we will say that up and down exactly. The lineup, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, etc. As far as the veteran nature of this team, 18 returning players from last year's Eastern Conference finalists.
They do such a great job of identifying the talent that they want, that fits the way that they want to play, and the psychology that they want to fit what they need in the locker room. And so that's a way to keep it consistent like that.
Quick look at our injury update presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Unfortunately, we saw Carl Haworth playing more and more minutes over the course of the last few weeks. He is now out tonight. A.J. Cochran remains out, and that's part of the reason why Liam Doyle was brought on earlier this week on loan from San Antonio, veteran center back. He's played in many teams and many years in the USL Championship. Good news is Patrick Segrist returns, who's been out for the last few matches for the Indy 11.
And if you look at the lineup that's out there right now, that's been fairly consistent over these last few matches. It's playing well together. It's gelling well together. Then you look at guys like Segrist and Haworth and Cochran. If they can get healthy and back in form, that gives you the little bit of depth you need for this final run.
Hackshaw sends it in. Arteaga was the target. Jonathan Gómez will track it down for LouCity. The young man that is bound for Real Sociedad in La Liga at the end of this season. And Timmer, Antoine Openo, guilty of committing the foul, and Antoine will have a conversation with our match referee, Jeremy Shear, for this evening's contest.
Conversations like that, that can kind of go into a statistical classification of a pre-yellow card.
That's right.
That's where those fall.
This is your official warning. Antoine, the veteran from France who played his collegiate soccer at Princeton. In this place, well, he's a big fan of it, given the goal that he had in the 94th minute of the Eastern Conference Championship game here some 2 seasons ago. This is Gordon Wild. Wild, good-looking cross, but even though Jimenez steered it out, that ball had crossed the byline before it got to him. Goal kick coming for Chris Hubbard. Time now for our keys this match. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
Yeah, we are going to go with Louisville's favorite son, Muhammad Ali quotes. Impossible is nothing for Indy 11. Despite the up and down season, there are still 27 points on the table, and a good run tonight and 3 points tonight can go a long way to helping you extend this season. For LouCity, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. This team is so poetic and fluid when they have the ball, but when they get into the attacking third, they strike. Some would say they sting like a bee.
45 goals so far this year for LouCity. They are the highest scoring club in the entirety of the Eastern Conference. And I must say, in year number 8, you have upped your keys to the match game significantly. It's like you finally found your stride in terms of this portion of the broadcast.
Rexar, it takes me 8 years to warm up to anything.
Moon on the cross. Iose sprinting, trying to track it down, but nothing there. Throw in coming for LouCity here in minute number 5.
And the tough part with Moon is he's got such creativity and such great pace, and that ball just didn't sit up for him to actually take the defender on. By the time it was settled in his feet, there was cover behind that defender, and there wasn't the space to run.
Nicky Law. And an assist to Manuel Arteaga. In terms of the goals scored at LouCity back on June 26th. Openo is making a run. Can Ownby find him? He makes the opportunity. Jordan Farr doesn't play it. Openo will track it down, but all the way to the corner flag before he does. Timmer does a good job of holding his ground. Openo commits the foul. Timmer tries to apply the beginnings of a figure 4 leg lock on Openo before he then lets him go, but the whistle goes in favor of the Indy 11. Jordan Farr making his way over to restart this. It was wonderful to see Jordan's parents, Tim and Tricia, at tonight's game. Normally we say hello to all the Farr family back in Oregon. Well, some of them are here tonight to watch him play. But hello to his grandmother, Marcia, who is watching back in Oregon as we speak. Hello, Grandma. Hope you're doing well.
That is awesome.
Of course, Jordan's fourth year with the club. Great touch by Gershon Kofi. And Wild off to the races. He's got Law heading towards the near post. Couldn't get to him. Great read by Sean Tosh. Gutjahr could not settle it. Quickly back the other way with Cameron Lancaster being the target before Mr. Century Club himself, and Carl Lamette sweeps it away.
How about that?
Carl joins Don Smart and Brad Ring as the all-time leader in appearances in Indy 11 history. Offside flag goes up, and Gordon Wild was certainly aware of the real estate he was holding. He was well offside on the play. Gordon alone at goal in last week's 1-0 victory against Sporting Kansas City 2, his third goal of the season. And when he has scored a goal, the Indy 11 is 3-0. So file that away for future use as the game goes along. Alexi Swahi. Bit of a nothing ball that time, and Danny Cruz, arms extended, asking a similar question.
Hey, that's not how we play. It's a good turn. They were kind of looking to see if they could bait We Met into playing to Timmer, and they were going to put a two-man press on, and he read it and turned the ball instead.
Timmer tries long distance again for Arteaga. Tosh, and that is a foul. A little help from the assistant referee. And for all of the squad rotation that LouCity has been able to go through this year because of the spectacular depth that their organization has put together, Tosh is the one exception. As the center back, he has played every minute of every match so far. And
brilliantly, too. The thing with Tosh is it's similar to when Gibson was here. You'd expect them to lose some minutes because of how physical they play. Tosh is a blue-collar, lunch pail, grind-it-out kind of guy. He's always mixing it up. And for him to stay healthy, that's just incredible.
5th year with LouCity, 7th year in the USL Championship. He's been a part of 3 USL Cup winning sides. Played his college soccer at Northern Illinois. Here's Tyler Gibson. Can we still call him Gibby on the broadcast the way that we did the last couple of years? Or is that a little too informal for somebody on the opposing team?
I think LouCity bought the rights to that.
Okay.
Their broadcast crew has it.
Great to catch up with Tyler for Soccer Saturday this week. Not been much in the way of kind of holding possession in this match. It's been up and down here in the opening 8 minutes of play. As Hubbard, the Louisville native, swings it all the way to the touchline on the far side. Ioze.
That's just incredible. There's no space to walk that tightrope.
While we have documented the round number status that Carl We Met now has with the Indy 11, 3rd on the club's all-time appearances list. Ioze is now 4th, 93rd appearance for Io in an Indy 11 uniform. And he had the lone tally in the only regular season win in Indianapolis that the 11 own over LouCity back on Derby Day of May of 18. Looking near side, Gordon Wild pulls it just a bit wide. Goal kick coming for Chris Hubbard.
A great cut inside. The two defenders were crashing. Their weight was a little bit back. He took advantage of that, pushed it on the inside, and was able to open up for a shot.
That's one of the things that Max Rogers has talked about. We have certainly noted is that the reluctance at times to take a shot from distance. Indy seems to have cured that malady over the course of the last couple of matches.
I think one of the things for Gordon Wild is he's willing to shoot from anywhere at any angle, and he's dangerous. I mean, you look at it right now, he's heating up. He got a goal against the Fire in the exhibition a couple days ago. He scored in the last match here at Carroll Stadium.
Yes, the Indy 11 did play a friendly against the Chicago Fire on Tuesday. Foul going to be whistled against Manuel Arteaga. So a friendly against the Fire U23 team. Really no one that is going to factor tonight for the Indy 11. That restart was a bit too informal for our referees, so we'll go back to the previous position. But again, really for the guys you're seeing tonight, they may have played 30 minutes at most in terms of Tuesday. Tonight's match presented in part by Keystone Construction. It's more than construction. Keystone Construction, we build a vision. And not much in the way of traffic on the legs of the Indy 11 from the last time they played on Saturday to tonight's match. That changes over the next 2 weeks. They have Wednesday night matchups each of the next 2 weeks. This starts a span of 5 matches in 15 days for the Indy 11. Ownby, I've seen him do that move before too.
Yeah, I love the way he played. He did that down on the other end to get that ball to Hopino. But I tell you what, love the way he plays it. You hate it as an opponent because it's just relentless. He'll chase down anything.
And again, to explain history for those of you that don't have the immediate recall of that Eastern Conference Championship from a couple of years ago, it was Ownby's hustle to play it off an Indy 11 defender that set up the corner that got Opino the look to tie the game. Portion of this match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. And a fastball sent back by Hackshaw that Farr could not catch up to. Corner coming here for LouCity in minute number 12.
And that is what the pressure of Ownby brings. This is a ball that Neville Hackshaw turns to Farr 99 times out of 100. But when Ownby is coming at 100 miles an hour and he's in 5th gear and amped up, puts a little extra pressure on that ball.
It is Gómez that will head to the corner flag. Second year with LouCity. Spent 1 year playing for North Texas, part of the FC Dallas system in League One. One of the more talented teenage players in this country. Sends it in. Swahi, the player closest to it. And Wild fouled outside of the 18, holding up a LouCity player behind him. I believe that was Opino.
And the thing with Opino, too, is he wants to protest calls like that, but he's already gotten his verbal warning. So he's got to rein it in just a little bit on the half fouls.
Yeah, that's 3 whistles he's been a part of in the first 12 minutes. Which, again, is kind of Antoine's MO. It's
Drew Connor type statistics right there.
Drew appreciates the shout out. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. Opportunity here. Gordon Wild. Hubbard spills it, headed back to Hubbard. But Hubbard could not get it before it got to the byline. A corner coming for the Indy 11 and an opportunity that developed quickly for Gordon Wild.
What a ridiculous touch by Arteaga here to settle it and then to be able to slip Gordon Wild through. Love the thought by Tosh to try and head it back to Hubbard.
It is Gordon Wild that plays it short to Nicky Law. Ball headed down. Hackshaw sitting back post. Couldn't get to it. The dead sprint to get there. Keeps it in play, but Gómez now can launch an attack up the near side. And that'll be a foul behind the play on Hackshaw as he and Gómez got tangled up. By the way, to finish things up for our friends at Select Sport America, for the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. The set-piece creativity developed a good look for the Indy 11. Brickyard Battalion at full song tonight. They're up for every game. They are really up for tonight's game. Hold up play by Lancaster. Kofi able to sweep it away. And Hackshaw works his way around Opino.
It's early, but it looks like Kofi's on pace to have a Kofi-type game again.
You and I both thought that he perhaps had his best game in an Indy 11 uniform last week. Timmer, the great diagonal ball to find Ioze. Overlapping run. Law to Ioze, trying to find Arteaga, could not slide it through. Timmer is there. McMoon. These teams know each other so well. Played 4 times a year ago. Arteaga goes down, but not enough in that. Referee with a wave of the finger.
Yeah, I think that's a good non-call. Arteaga kind of turned into that to see if he could draw the foul.
Again, the read by Kofi. Stepping in front of Paulo Del Piccolo, and Del Piccolo deemed to have slowed Kofi enough to draw a whistle. Sean spending 7 years in Major League Soccer, 5 of those with the Vancouver Whitecaps, 2 with the New England Revolution. Enjoyed our conversation with he in the post-match show last week. He couldn't slide it past Timmer. And now Moon. Just a bit too hard on that last touch.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure from Gonzalez on his back made that last touch a little heavy.
2 clubs battling over the Atlantic Division's final playoff spot takes center stage when the USL and ESPN continues. Charlotte Independence travels north to Dillon Stadium to take on Hartford Athletic Thursday, September 30th, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN Deportes. Gibson fouled by Arteaga. Gibson not happy with said foul on Arteaga. And now Gibson and Ouimet going at it. They were only teammates for 3 years.
No kidding.
And Tyler said this in a joking fashion. He goes, Carl and I would basically yell at each other in every practice. So this is nothing new for these 2 guys. They will literally give each other a hug as soon as the match is over. But right now, they can't stand the other one.
I'll tell you what, though, and it's the same thing that we saw a couple of matches ago. When somebody gets on Arteaga, it's almost like the Gretzky, was it Messier that was kind of his? When Arteaga got pushed a couple games ago, and just now you got the team coming in and they have his back.
Carl has been a part of so many of these battles over the years. He, Iose, Jordan Farr, this year becoming members 6, 7, and 8 of guys that have spent 4 years with the Indy 11. This is the 8th year of Indy 11 soccer, the 7th year of LouCity. Carl getting a talking to as well. Of course, this match presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Gómez finds Del Piccolo. Del Piccolo looking back post. Iose gets in the way. Timmer sweeps it sideways. First really kind of opportunity on frame for LouCity.
And that's one of the things we've seen from Gómez through the years is just his playmaking ability to draw players in and then be able to serve that ball into the box to give LouCity a chance. One of the things that's really added to his game this year is his finishing.
Piccolo sitting on 5 goals this year, tied for 2nd on the team. Cameron Lancaster with 12. That's currently good for 3rd in the league. Lancaster is eyeballing Haji Berry, not in terms of goals versus each other this year, but Haji potentially catching his record from 3 years ago of 25 in regular season play. More on Haji Berry coming up during our halftime show. Gómez again looking back post, but nobody there making a corresponding run. Immediately the youngster puts his hand up. And what an environment for Gómez to be in before he heads over to Europe, because he is the exception on this team. There are a lot of guys that are 30 plus on this LouCity team. Here he is, 18. He just turned 18 earlier this month, and he gets to learn from some fantastic pros in LouCity.
Yeah, he's 18 biologically, but soccer brain-wise, he's probably in his later years.
Good point.
You talk about how you need balanced scoring to be a real threat. You can't just have one primary guy and hope you can get one or two more. You know, with Arteaga stepping up this year and hopefully Gordon Wild being that second option or Nick Moon being that second option, you take a little bit of pressure off. You look at LouCity, they can come at you from so many different places, and you still got guys on the bench that can add to that.
I don't think you need to explain to people that this is a rivalry game, given by the tenor of the number of whistles that we have seen and how players are interacting with each other on the pitch. You can figure that out for yourself as the tension is high 20 minutes in. This portion of this match presented by BetRivers, the official sports betting partner of the Indy 11. Bet with a winner. Gómez again looking to find Ownby or Lancaster and airmails the delivery.
And you can see with the high line, Jordan Farr is, you know, out at the edge of the 18 to kind of serve as a sweeper keeper if that ball does get over the top.
Hackshaw trying to thread the needle. Del Piccolo gets in the way. Gonzalez plays it over to Ownby. Ownby, Lancaster a touch. Flag was up anyway. Wasn't exactly a threatening ball sent towards Jordan Farr. Would not have counted even if it had more speed on it.
I'll tell you what, though, there's not many players that 1v1 against Hackshaw can create the window to be able to serve a ball. Ownby just did that.
Ownby his 5th year with LouCity. This is the 9th year he has spent time in the USL Championship. 4 goals this season for Ownby. I think Opano may have bounced into his own man at midfield.
Lancaster got him.
Wild the target here. Ball bounces over Swahi, but also does the same to Gordon Wild. Here's Gonzalez. He is one of the few new names on this LouCity roster this year.
What a ball. The tip of the hat to Ownby just to get a foot to it to bring it down.
Now Jimenez plays it across. Hackshaw with a boot to it. Ioze buys a bit more real estate and a throw-in coming here for LouCity. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community through the Forever Proud Project. The USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. USLsoccer.com/forward-proud has more information. So it was Farr that was in net for the Indy 11 during that Eastern Conference final. Played here back in 2019. He was in goal for the first of the 2 matches between these two this year. Arteaga goes to ground. Tosh deemed to have done enough to cause that. And now a dangerous set-piece opportunity for the boys in blue.
Yeah, if you're Indy, you like this. If you're LouCity, you're scratching your head. You're saying, why? You've got cover in behind you. Swahi's there to clean it up. There's no reason to grab Arteaga there. Uncharacteristic play from Sean Tosh.
This is an opportunity to go for goal. Set up a teammate here. In the proper range.
I'd be shocked if Gordon Wild doesn't put this on frame. I'd be shocked if Gordon Wild doesn't shoot it. Putting it on frame is a different story.
In from a somewhat similar spot, he missed a goal by about 6 inches last week in the run of play. It is Wild and heads up in the BYB. Everything but the execution there. The thought was right. Clearly did not deliver the shot he was hoping for. Of course, this match presented by Keystone Construction. Keystone Construction, it's more than construction. We build a vision. That's going to be a foul on Hackshaw. He got enough of a hip check on Ownby while he was airborne to draw the whistle. And this is about as whistle heavy of a match as we have seen this year. But again, given the rivalry, given the veteran nature of these two teams, I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Well, it's always, games are always so fluid. You're trying to figure out one game to the next. You know, the rules are the rules, but there's always these stretching of the rules. And so, you know, in a game like this, you may become a little more prone to use the whistle early to say, okay, here's the range you can play in.
Jimenez delivers. Tosh steers it across. Headed down. Sprung for a bit of relief by Law, then all the way back to midfield where Gibson will track it down. Ownby. Hackshaw. He will simply square Jimenez away from the play. Those two have had just a few battles over the years, because the 5 years that Jimenez has spent in Louisville, Neville spent 3 years with Charleston Battery, then 3 years with the Indy 11. So that's happened just a few times before.
But you watch the way it plays. Jimenez is on full pace, and Neville Hackshaw is shielding him off, running sideways, running backwards, and running forwards.
Wherever you go, fans, you can take the boys in blue with you. Download the Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. Kofi deemed to have won that challenge in a fair fashion, but because of a potential head injury, not because of a foul, they will stop play. Check on Del Piccolo. Del Piccolo gets a tap on the back from Gershon Kofi. Del Piccolo is from Colorado, but he played his college soccer at the University of Louisville. Part of the reason why LouCity has been such a good home for him.
Well, the great thing with that is, you know, you've got University of Louisville's program is so strong. So when you're looking at, you know, scouting for that next tier of players, for LouCity, it's right in their backyard, not just with the club system they built, but then you got one of the best college programs in the country, and they play top-level competition. So, you know, University of Louisville is bringing in, you know, great teams to play.
Piccolo has been at Louisville for the last 6 years. Joined the team in 2016. Spent some time in Germany, made some appearances with Eintracht Frankfurt too before coming back to North America. Just remind your fans, every Saturday morning, catch Soccer Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Got a lot of people to talk to on the show this week. Carl Lament, Gershon Kofi, Liam Doyle, Tyler Gibson, Max Rogers. Go back and listen anytime at 1075thefan.com. You made a couple of appearances on the show today as well.
I have. You look at this, as many guests as you had for this one. Would you give them all like 2 minutes just to introduce themselves?
I think Gershon got 1:45. I may have taken some of the post-game conversations from last week and aired them on the show. Iose will settle this one. Last touch by Jimenez. Throw in coming here for the Indy 11. It has been furious in terms of the back and forth action, but neither goalkeeper, frankly, has had to do much at this juncture. Hubbard nor Farr. Arteaga. Can he find an angle? He does not. That ball gets in the midst of Hubbard. Doesn't really matter, but it's across the byline. Goal kick coming here. And Hubbard was the starter because Ben Luke got hurt early in 2019. Pretty much played from, say, June on for LouCity. Then didn't see much of the field with the shortened campaign last year. Now is back to being the #1 guy, although Parker Siegfried had been taking some minutes from Hubbard as of late. Chris has just kind of gotten back into that #1 goalkeeper spot for LouCity.
The nice part about it, and I like playing with 3 backs. I think it makes a little bit easier reads. But then you've also got such consistency in the LouCity back line that you understand the personalities, the tendencies of those players. It makes it so, well, it's never simple, but it makes it easier to pick and choose your moments as a goalkeeper on when you need to come out and when you can sit.
Law finds Wild, and Kofi distributes to Moon. Moon blasted off of Gómez. They ask for a handball. And then it will be a throw as Del Piccolo and Moon got tied up and somehow deemed that Del Piccolo touched that last. In terms of a potential handball, even if it hit him with the hand, it would have been, to me, tucked into his chest. I think there's no way you could have called that as a penalty against LouCity.
I'll tell you what, but great job by Swahi to get cover underneath Gómez as Moon was lining him up to take him 1v1.
A launch of a throw by Moon.
Get at it, get at it!
Ball quickly finds his feet again. Gibson picks the pocket of Gordon Wild. That is the voice of Max Rogers you hear saying, press, get after him, go. Right in front of the Indy 11 bench. We met, deemed to have held up Cameron Lancaster. Openo restarts quickly. Thought that Kofi got into his way. And the referee will agree.
Well, you take a look at that, and Openo was so excited to see if he can drive that ball into Lancaster that it was still moving at the time he struck it. So he's allowed to play it without asking for Kofi to back up 10 yards. He tried to play the early ball, and he got lucky that it was still rolling.
Yeah. Kofi, a smile on his face as the conversation ends.
I think there's always a smile on his face.
Tosh to Ownby. And Ownby couldn't handle the long distance dedication. Farr will launch this one. Unfortunately, somewhere close to section 113. Shaw.
Unreal.
To Long. Ball poked away from Gershon Kofi, but again, foul behind the play as Arteaga goes to ground. And a card is going to be shown for the first time tonight. And this one, I believe, directed at Sean Tosh. Or is it Del Piccolo? It's Del Piccolo. And again, that wasn't for the contact. That was for the conversation after the fact.
That is a pretty heated yellow card. That thing was turning orange as he went to his pocket.
First yellow of the match goes against LouCity. Long way for this one to travel in terms of the service for the Indy 11. Wild couldn't latch onto it, and Wild takes out the LouCity player at the edge of the 18. That was Gómez.
Okay, I got some Louisville Indy trivia for you. This one's a layup. Okay, this University of Louisville NFL quarterback now coaches at a major college in Indiana.
Come on, man. You got folks watching ESPN Plus in Louisville screaming about Jeff Brom. Come on now. You realize I spent my formative years just on the other side of the river from Louisville.
I got some.
In fact, there are people probably watching this match back home that are saying you're saying it wrong. It's Louisville. But I have now lived in Indianapolis for 27 years, so I am prone to say Louisville instead.
Oh, good find. Great.
We're talking about Jeff's older brother Greg, his dad Oscar, younger brother Brian. How many of the Broms you want me to name? Moon for Kofi. Kofi, bit strong on the first touch, could not release the shot. Timmer looking back post, little bit too tall for Nicky Law, could not get to Manuel Arteaga, and a stumble by Del Piccolo results in a turnover.
Tough ball to handle. The right ball from Kofi to Law, but just tough one to handle.
Gonzalez knocks it forward for Lancaster. And Lancaster shouldered off the ball by Carl Ouimet.
Great step.
And those two will not mind the play being as physical as it's allowed to be. Wild deemed to have gone to ground of his own accord.
That was a great touch by Wild to try and put that ball on the other side of his body from Gómez, and just a better job from Gómez to be able to work through it and get a piece of it.
LouCity, a road point last time out. They played 6 days ago in Oklahoma City. Resulted in a 1-1 draw. This is the middle of a month away from Lynn Family Stadium. Went from September 3rd. They'll go to October 3rd without having a matchup at their wonderful new stadium just east of downtown Louisville. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. You want to keep talking about Jeff Brom at all, or can we let that one go?
No, let that one go, because you did this to me last time. I come up with a trivia question, and then you out-trivia me on the trivia question.
Hey, you're the one that brought it up. Don't poke the bear. Foul called against Del Piccolo.
This University of Louisville quarterback went on to play for the Colts, 3-time MVP, 1-time Super Bowl champion. Who is it? This is a curveball. This is a change. I gotcha on this one.
Oh, Johnny Unitas?
Jeez Louise.
Hackshaw will play it forward to Nicky Lowe. Good ball. Here's Moon. Moon on the cross. Just couldn't find the feet of Nicky Law. And Timmer on the full sprint. Great read by Timmer. And Moon with the bump of Gonzalez. Join the USL in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month through October 15th. Visit USLsoccer.com/Hispanic-Heritage for exclusive content and stories that celebrate members of the Hispanic community that have shaped the USL.
That last ball that was sent into Nick Moon. You had Gordon Wild trying to make an overlapping run. He couldn't get there in time to complicate the play for LouCity.
Del Piccolo looking to find Lancaster. Lancaster doesn't need many touches to be dangerous, but has not really factored much into this game just yet.
You can hear Danny Cruz. He wants more buildup. He's not a fan of that through ball that gets picked up by the Indy back line or by far. He wants a little bit more interplay, a little bit more complexity. Move the ball like LouCity does. Find the opening and then go.
Errant distribution by Gómez. Restart coming from Moon, but told to back up a pace or two before said distribution. Timmer to Ioze. Ioze. This pass deflects off of Opano, and here comes the opportunity for LouCity.
What a touch.
Opano couldn't keep it at his feet. Opano has spent time with FC Cincinnati, Reno. Was traded for Lucky Casada in June of 2019, making his debut against the Indy 11 in a 1-1 draw at Lucas Oil Stadium. Here's Moon. Pass takes a deflection off of Gómez. Lancaster the target. Swahi's pass. Not a good one. Swahi in his 4th season with LouCity. Grew up in the La Havre system in France, which is where Bob Bradley briefly coached. We met. Wow. To Ioze. 5 LouCity defenders behind the ball and more on the way there. Wild the target, but Law's pass a bit too strong, and Hubbard quickly scampers over to track it down. Wild the takeaway. Lancaster applied pressure. What a beautiful turn by Wild. Moon will assist in the effort. Moon waiting for Law to get back on side to his right. Not much in the way of space. This portion of this match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. Wild Springs Ioze. Ioze plays it across. Tosh steps in front of Arteaga.
Great build from Indy 11. Great ball in. Better defending by LouCity.
Advantage being played. Gonzalez's ball. We met. Couldn't knock it away. Poked home, and that's a goal for LouCity. On the counter, LouCity finds the back of the net first at minute number 41.
This is such a cruel game. Indy 11 has beautiful play, creates an incredible opportunity. LouCity just, destroys the opportunity and gets out on the break, and a little ball. It's almost a half chance in front of Openo. And he chases it down and just gets a toe to it.
Gonzalez springs him on this one. The bounce goes against the Indy 11 on the sliding effort on the tackle. We met knocks it right back into the path of Openo, who toe pokes it past Jordan Farr. First goal belongs to LouCity, and Farr, you see him grabbing at that right shin. Trainer Mija Kinsey has to check on Jordan as we speak. Jeremiah Gutyar out there with him now. Of course, Jordan has already missed 2 months of the season due to injury, a wrist injury suffered against Pittsburgh. But to some degree, that's just the breaks of the game. Again, Indy had kind of committed some numbers forward to the buildup, turned into a 3v3 at the other end. Ball bounces the proper way for the visitors, and they have a 1-goal advantage.
That's so crazy because you got the tackle in there to break it up, and it just bounces around, hits Openo right in the shin, and lands right in front of him.
Our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of the first half brought to you by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Openo, that is his 3rd goal of the season. Bobby Edwards getting ready in case he is needed. He was in goal for Indy the last time these two teams played.
And it's tough when the tackle happened with We Met. Farr reads it and starts backpedaling a little bit to get position. Then when it bounces into Openo's path, he's got to immediately put on the brakes, redirect, and come to cut the angle. And, for a moment there, it looked like it was going to be a 50-50 ball, and Openo found a 5th gear and was just able to slide that little touch off his left foot past Farr.
The left foot, and then all of his momentum from charging forward for some 30-40 yards stops at the thigh and the shin of Jordan Farr. And the hope for the Indy 11 is that Farr can continue, but again, knowing that you're just before halftime, if you can try to soldier on for the next 3 or 4 minutes, knowing you'll get a much better idea during halftime whether he can continue or not.
And you get this when you come and you set as a goalkeeper, you're making yourself big, and you're getting your feet planted, and you're putting yourself in an unmovable position to absorb the shot. And so when you're in that, there is no give when a foot comes through, when momentum comes through.
And goalkeeper injuries are allowed to take as long as they need to be able to return to action. Farr will at least continue on, you would imagine, until halftime, when then a further termination can be made. So Indy is chasing the game. And in the 3 matchups this season, LouCity has scored first all 3 times. First test pass by Farr. Sweeping that ball away from the 18. Would not think we're looking at a long amount of stoppage time. Opportunity here. Ioze distributes to Gordon Wild. Arteaga plays Ioze through. He's off. Doesn't matter. Hubbard got there first anyway. But the flag had gone up for Ioze.
Yeah, and that was one you almost wish that it would have just kept coming this way.
Have the sign for Jimenez. Ownby the target. Ouimet got there first. Arriaga trying to carve out some space. Well, the injury to Farr has given the opportunity for some extended time here at the end of the half. 3 minutes. And that's going to be a handball against Timmer. Timmer said no, it's the shoulder. Referee says otherwise, and now here's going to be a set-piece look for LouCity to try to make it 2 before the break.
Yeah, and I tell you, that's two guys that have played together for a long time. As soon as that ball pops to Openo, Lancaster's already making a run into the space behind Timmer.
A variety of options here available for LouCity. You can hear the words of Danny Cruz saying, stay switched on. In other words, don't coast in a halftime. Try to get one more before the break.
And especially in moments like this. I mean, Lancaster is so lethal on these.
Lancaster, not on that one.
And that's where you talk about that clicked on. You got 45 minutes on your legs. You're tired. There's a little bit of fatigue. You got to be clicked in. You got to be locked in. You got to at least make the other team have to defend the restart.
63 goals for Lancaster over parts of 6 seasons in Louisville. Wild the target. That's why he has that one squared away. He'll play it back to his netminder. Now Gibson on the charge. Distributes right side.
What a ball.
Their opportunity here. Back heel, volley. Ask for a handball, don't get it, and Farr closes down Gómez.
If you had any questions about the injury, he came out with authority on that ball.
Flag stays down for Openo here, but can't defy the laws of physics to go get it. Take a look.
It's a nice serve. Oh, that's a monster. Those 2 sweeping arms coming.
It's pretty fearless by Jordan Farr. Nicky Law couldn't keep in his feet. And Arriaga got tangled up, but no whistle was frankly an advantage for the Indy 11. Closing seconds now of the half. A glance at the match referee. He looks at his wristwatch as well. Ownby plays it in. Ouimet. And with that, you'll get one final look at a corner here for LouCity. Any nick of the ball the other direction will end the action in half number 1. One more opportunity. It's Gómez who will send it in. Traffic building up in front of Jordan Farr.
Great serve.
Far out to get it. Ball punched away, and that is the end of the half. Very evenly played. And LouCity owns wins in this building in the 2015 Open Cup, the 2019 Eastern Conference Final. 4th time they have played here. All of these matchups since Indy joined the USL Championship between these two over the last 3 seasons had taken place over at Lucas Oil Stadium. No changes for either side. You know, Patrick Segrist has gotten has kind of gotten the gear on to be ready when given the opportunity.
What a ball by Sean Tosh. driven from Neviel Hackshaw. He takes it right off his chest and drops it to Tyler Gibson.
Get great deals and catch all the exciting action from an exclusive vantage point. The all-new Heineken deck located in the northwest corner of Carroll Stadium. Ticket to the Heineken deck are just $15. It includes $3 Heineken brands all game long. A limited number of tickets available for each game, so get yours today by visiting the ticket section of Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100 or in person at the Carroll Stadium box office on game day.
Tough ball. Gordon Wild was looking for Iose out wide. Had him on the first. The ball just didn't sit up well for him. By the time he got the ball set up, he wasn't in position to deliver that ball and drives it right into a LouCity defender.
When Indy came back on LouCity back at the end of May, it was on 2 penalties. Gordon Hamilton converting both of those for Indy that night.
And I tell you, we got to see it a lot when he was here, but those balls that go into Tyler Gibson rarely wind up with the opponent.
Played in all 53 matches that the Indy 11 were a part of during his 2-year tenure here. Beautiful ball to Ownby. Ownby, we met, gets in the way. That ball intended for Cameron Lancaster. Well done by Jeremiah Gutjaw. Jimenez. Here's a break for Indy. Plays it right to Gordon Wild. Wild will leave it right side for Nick Moon. Moon slides it through. Wild one touch. Couldn't control it, and Arteaga couldn't latch on to it either. Not in danger just yet, as Kofi will keep the attack alive.
What a touch by Kofi to bring that ball down.
Moon trying to break down Gómez. One a left foot. Swahi got in the way. And Ownby. And eventually, ball headed in our general direction. The Sports This Match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. Iose being told to back up a bit in terms of real estate before this one is restarted.
This Hackshaw, Law, Iose, it's just like keep away.
Where Hackshaw had both a goal and an assist when these two teams last played in June. Good read by Gutjahr. Iose with a touch. Takes 1,000 snapshots in his mind in a millisecond before playing that ball into Gershon Kofi.
It's unreal how fast his soccer brain fires.
Turns 36 in November, does Io. Now 93 appearances for the Indy 11. There is certainly a chance that he joins the Century Club by the end of this season. After tonight, 8 more matches left to play for Indy.
And you talk about his brilliance, and I guess it's with any sport, but the cool part about being an athlete is as your soccer brain develops further and you process and you can solve problems quicker, your physical skills start to go. It's just cruel.
Youth is wasted on the young, right?
That is exactly right. But you look at it, if you've got the talent to be a musician or a writer or something, you can do that forever. This gift you got to give back.
Del Piccolo. Wimet gets in the way. Arteaga a flick, but no one to even give Hubbard a bit of a spot of bother. Indy 11 Premium Suites are the perfect way to entertain your guests. Learn more at Indy11.com. Call 317-685-1100. Kofi! Wow. And Hubbard has not to do all that much tonight. He was up to the challenge there. Corner coming for Indy.
What a turn by Kofi, and then LouCity doesn't press it. He explodes to the top of the 18, unleashes a rocket. Weird save from Hubbard. That ball must have been moving because it looked almost like a volleyball save. A dig, I think they call him. Ha! Got it.
Law. Back post. Hubbard a touch. But a foul is going to be whistled against Indy. Kofi yet to score a goal for the Indy 11 this season. Look at Neviel Hackshaw. Did not appear during the month of July in a match for the Indy 11. Just a good chunk of that because of Gold Cup duty with Trinidad and Tobago. Indy remains without Peter Lee Vossel, who is yet to return from his international time spent with Jamaica for the World Cup qualifiers.
You got 11 guys on the field at a time, so it never comes down to just one guy. But wouldn't it be interesting to see what July would look like if Neville was here for that whole month, what the point total and the wins and losses and draws would be?
Well, it was more than just July, because he missed, when things went south for the Indy 11 right after beating Louisville on May 29th. That was when Trinidad and Tobago was going through kind of that last gasp to try to make the World Cup qualifiers, where they did not. They are not in the final round of World Cup qualifying, so he missed some time there as well. Those losses to Pittsburgh and El Paso happened in two of the better teams in the league without Hackshaw on the field. Your point is well made. But it's also the nature of when you sign a player like Neville, you know you're going to miss him for some key moments because of that. Opportunity here, Gonzalez. Young men on loan from the Portland Timbers. Opportunity here, Openo. At the edge of the 18. Starts the second half much like he did the first. The whistle of the referee.
He wanted to argue it. He's just going to argue with his eyes right now because he's on the watch list.
Fans, a reminder to do what you're doing right now and watch Wish TV. It's your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. By the way, if you can only watch one segment of Daybreak, I'm on every Thursday at 7:45.
Ooh, that's fantastic.
Now you know exactly when not to watch, right?
No. I can't get enough of Rakestraw.
Opportunity here for Ownby. We met. Knocks it off of Ownby.
That's what pressure does. The pressure from Openo is what led to the goal. The pressure here from Ownby. You're looking at on both of those. You've got we met just trying to get a piece of something to end the danger, and the pressure just nicks enough of it to give it a fighting chance.
But flicked by Lancaster.
Wow.
Exquisite touch to Openo. Openo gives it a blast, doesn't get through. Timmer got in the way. And Jimenez has an entire half of the field to himself. Possession along the back is not exactly a bad thing for LouCity. Protecting a one-goal lead, they are not in a position to force the game.
You keep your shape, you move it around. If Indy gets a little careless on a shift, then you go. And you're not at the point in the game where Indy has to overstep their line and try and force it. They can wait for the missed touch or the opportunity to go.
Great read by Gutyar.
And then go.
Gutyar. And that was frankly unnecessary from Jimenez. There was contact there, but frankly, Gutyar had lost the ball by that point.
Yeah, he kind of painted himself into a corner. There were no real options there, and that's the time you just got to back off from any kind of contact.
Third-year professional from Indiana University, Jeremiah Gutyar, the Bloomington native. Look at a great look from our pitch side camera.
Yeah, that one was about to dissolve by itself, and you let Indy off the hook. Touch.
Law. Io goes to ground, nothing there. The throw in ought to be redone. Referee signaled to Louisville, then changed his mind, and then Io.
I think he's called a good game. I mean, even that one there, he either got word from the linesman or he just recognized that he called it the wrong way.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM-FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio. Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Brian Dunseth, Rodney Marsh, Jason Davis. You know the whole crew by now. And USL All Access with Mike Watson, Devin Kerr. Every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Hear matches from the USL Championship, Major League Soccer, the Premier League, and more. Sirius XM-FC 157 and the SXM app. Goes to ground, nothing there. Opportunity here for Louisville. Ball played forward to Opano. Hackshaw is going to get a card because of the shoulder-to-shoulder knock with Lancaster, and Lancaster still dealing with the after effects behind the play, but that was deemed to be vicious enough for an immediate stoppage of play, and Hackshaw shown a yellow. First yellow directed towards the Indy 11. For Neville, it's his third yellow of the season.
Yeah, it was a nice ball delivered by Lancaster. I just don't know that there was anything that Opano could do on the other end of it, so don't know that you needed a foul, and I think the card came with the extended arm a little bit higher up.
I think that was a frustration foul more than anything else. Gibson sweeps it forward. Lancaster gives chase. We met, didn't hit that ball the way he wanted to, but it all worked out in the end for the gentleman celebrating the Century Club. And yes, Carl has his own money behind the goal tonight. The BYB, that was their TIFO for this evening's contest. It's tremendous. Ball played forward here, just a bit too strong for Gonzalez, and a goal kick coming for Jordan Farr. I think of coming to America. When I say the boy has his own money, he has his own money. Celebrating 100 appearances. I'm not sure if that's American, Canadian, or simply Brickyard Battalion dollars.
Oh, no, there's Maple Leafs all over it. That's got to be Canadian currency.
Okay. Of course, we saw Carl play against the Indy 11 for the Jacksonville Armada, the San Francisco Deltas. Part of that wave of guys that kind of came over when the NASL dissipated in 2018 and the Indy made the 23rd hour move to get to the USL Championship. You saw a lot of guys that were looking for a place to play landed here, and Carl has never left.
And this, by design, not just possession, not just being safe, but what it does is, you spend so much energy having to defend that it takes a little bit of the legs away from Indy for when they have the opportunity to get forward.
Well, last touch by Ioze. Want to say a special hello to a member of the Indy 11 fan family that is watching us tonight, Susan Reck. I always forget, is she Indy East End, Indy South End? We switched stations a couple of times. I don't know, but she handles that account on Twitter. In a little bit of a quarantine right now, so normally she is at the match. She is watching us this evening. Hello, Susan. Hope you are doing well and enjoying the broadcast.
Good ball. There's just too many LouCity players on that side. It had to come out this way. Timmer sees it, just knocks it.
Hackshaw looking for Wild. Arteaga, the follow-up run. Arteaga goes to ground and deemed that he committed the violation. And he is shown a yellow card. Not sure about either one of those.
Well, I think in the contact, it's just the foul, but then I think when he was kind of relentless and not letting go and kind of rolling on, at that point, it's like, all right. Right there, I think, is what deserved the yellow.
So second yellow in a matter of minutes, given the way of the Indy 11.
I just love the fighting in him, though. I mean, every 50-50 ball, he pours his heart and soul into it.
Leading goal scorer for the Indy 11 with 7 on the season, Manuel Arteaga. This match presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Niall McCabe about to head to the 4th official. And again, the depth that LouCity has to go to on the bench tonight, rather impressive.
Just a little bit of soft pressure.
However, Hackshaw, pressure of his own, helps win it back for Indy. Tosh will will sky this one towards the Indy 11 bench. Reese Buckmaster appears that he'll be making his way to the fourth official. Coming up in a matter of moments. Del Piccolo done for the night. Substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Steve Sanner of Jiffy Lube, the owner of Jiffy Lube of Indiana, was at the Hibs match in Scotland today. How cool is that, huh?
How do you know this stuff?
Well, Steve's a buddy of mine. I know these things.
I'm a buddy of yours. You don't know where I am every day.
You played Grinnell College in soccer. As the head coach of DePaul University, you won 3-1. Last night you played Center College. You lost by a score of 3-1. On Wednesday you played Rose-Hulman. You lost that one 3-1 too. How am I doing?
You're killing me. You're absolutely killing me.
Actually, it sounds like Rose-Hulman at center would kill me more than me. 1-0 our score here. Minute number 62. You want to smile?
No, I don't want to smile.
Here are DePaul Tigers. Now 6-2 on the season, correct?
Don't try to make up for it.
Okay. Ioze with the ball at his feet. Wild takes a carom in favor of the Indy 11. Those white kits that are flying back down the pitch to get behind the ball.
Love the discipline. Love the discipline.
One nervous moment for LouCity in this half. The blast from Kofi that Hubbard was able to dig away from the 6-yard box. Buckmaster and Segrist now both ready to enter at a moment's notice. We're told to do so by interim head coach Max Rogers for Indy. The flick by Io.
Good flag.
Hackshaw taken away by Ownby, and that's a foul against LouCity, and that's on Tosh. And again, at the edge of the 18, there's a chance to pull one back for Indy.
Tough angle for a left footer. This is likely going to be a ball that's bent in.
Napo Masoso getting ready to potentially enter this match for LouCity as well. He's got the match top on, putting the bib back on as well.
Oh, I like that ball right into Arteaga's space. Danny Cruz sees it as well. He gets up.
Back post. Goal kick coming. Nothing resulted from that for the Indy 11. This portion of this match presented by our friends at Bet Rivers, the official sports betting partner of the Indy 11. Bet with a winner. Soso being brought back to the bench area for LouCity, so he will enter sooner rather than later. Arteaga and Wild looking to link up. Wow. Somehow LouCity comes out of there with it. Here comes an opportunity. Gonzalez, and that's a shove at the edge of the 18 and a card being shown. Again, that was a step away from being a point to the spot. It is a card shown to Indy, and with the shadow of the ball resting on the white line of the 18-yard box, it is a set-piece opportunity coming for LouCity, and that was simply the acknowledgement of being beaten there.
And I'll tell you that one of the things that LouCity does so great is this came off of an Indy 11 possession in the middle third. Arteaga gets the ball, tries to slip it out to Moon, and it just gets picked. And then immediately you're having to defend the ball just outside your box.
Lancaster and Jimenez standing over this one.
Lancaster may try this one.
Tough angle. He will give it a go, and there was a deflection there, but it'll be an Indy 11 goal kick. Ownby and Tosh, the two LouCity players closest to it on the back end.
How'd you like to be You know, Jordan Farr in that moment, you've got Cameron Lancaster sitting on the ball, and you think, okay, he might be able to put it on goal. You check your rearview mirror, and you got, you know, Ownby and Tosh crashing the back post.
Sports this match brought to us by the Denny Companies. Tearing down the pass so you can build the future. We'll stop play here as Arteaga.
That's what I'm saying. You're a crazy man.
Head-to-head contact. Segrist and Buckmaster have made their way to the fourth official. Swahi offering nothing in the way of sympathies towards Arteaga.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the shoulder or arm came up, but it looked like Arteaga got caught just around the head with something from Tosh.
Arteaga will be potentially waved back in. Take a look at the contact here. So at some point, kind of the follow through from that off arm of Tosh made contact with the left side of Manuel Arteaga.
Okay, trivia time.
Yes, sir.
This IndyCar driver, 1999 Rookie of the Year, is from Louisville.
The 1999 IndyCar Rookie of the Year is from Louisville.
I bet Rivers, what are the odds on Rakestraw getting this one?
Well, Danny Sullivan won the 1985 Indianapolis 500.
That wasn't the question.
Proud native of Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, I did not know that.
I was unaware, though, that the 1999 IndyCar Rookie of the Year was from Louisville. So who would that be?
That would be Scott Harrington. But again, you out-trivia'd me on my trivia.
Hackshaw, a bit of a bobble, recovers quickly. All right, now I got to look this up after the match. Moon plays it through, looking for Arteaga, but Jimenez in the way.
What do you got to look up? I gave you the name. Oh, you got to look up, check if I'm right.
I'll do a little fact check. Yes.
Oh, Rakestraw.
We got Alex in the broadcast. Maybe I'll have Alex look this up. One of the voices of Purdue women's soccer here, checking out what we do tonight. Alex Brophy in the booth with us this evening.
There's another ball that gets turned
Lancaster,
over.
oh my goodness.
What a fight from Lancaster between two players. We met in a Hackshaw just to nudge enough space for himself to get his head to the ball.
And Lancaster endearing himself to the Brickyard Battalion. They may not like Lancaster. That was a heck of a goal. Now, Iose and Hackshaw not happy about the dust-up between Lancaster and Farr at the end of the match. But make no mistake about it, LouCity has built a 2-goal advantage. And like we have said, it does not take long for Cameron to impact this match.
Now, and you take a look on this play here, Indy's trying to shield that ball out and then just has a turnover at the edge of the 18. The ball, I don't know, it looked like Hopino just puts that ball right in between Ouimet and Hackshaw, and Cameron Lancaster fights to get just enough on it to nick it past Jordan Farr.
Fans of LouCity have been coming to the same party for years, and they're not getting tired of it yet. Hopino feeds Lancaster 2-0 for the Indy 11 for Cameron, his 13th of the season. And yellow card given to Jordan Farr. He was not intentionally trying to hit Lancaster. He was trying to clear the ball to the back of the net. Lancaster happened to be there.
Hey, returning the ball to the center. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, it's a 2-goal deficit that Indy has to chase with 20 minutes left in the match. Iose exits. Segrist returns for him. Hopino fouled. Reese Buckmaster offers a hand. Buckmaster just came in. Wild helps him up, excuse me. Masoso and Gregg lining up at the fourth official to jump in for LouCity. So Segerist in for Iose. Buckmaster in for Gutyar. The song remains the same for Indy, trailing by 2 goals. Ownby trying to find a window to make it 3.
That's one of the things about great goal scorers. They just kind of hang around. They're just there. They're just there.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, when it's their time, they're in the right spot at the right moment with the right execution.
It's not about time of possession for Cameron Lancaster. It's about dangerous moments, and he found yet another one. And yet again, Antoine Openo is Lancaster's in an offside position. A couple of subs coming in for LouCity. Lancaster, in fact, his night might be over with here in a matter of moments. Of course, this match brought to us by Hyatt Place and Hyatt House in downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. Openo is done for the night, and Lancaster is done for the night. Masoso and Gregg come in, and you go literally from one of the top 10 goal scorers in the history of the league to another one when you bring in Kyle Gregg. He was signed in early May when they were going through some injury issues early in the season. He had been with St. Louis FC for the last few years. There's Masoso, who played a more prominent role in the LouCity team last year. And Gregg, this is kind of the role he has now. Be the midweek player, give him 20, 30 minutes solidly in every match. It is an embarrassment of riches this LouCity team has.
What a luxury. I mean, and so in a situation where you can, get enough minutes to keep guys sharp, but also pull them in moments so you don't risk injury as you're heading into the playoff stretch, and your quality doesn't suffer. It doesn't go down.
You see Segerist back on the pitch after missing the last couple of weeks with injury. And that's going to be deemed to be a foul on Jimenez now at the conclusion of play. Segerist had a bit of a takedown on Jimenez. He's offering his hand up. And now Jimenez will take it. And now Openo done for the night in terms of playing, but not in terms of giving his opinion. So a card given towards the bench. Danny Cruz telling all his guys, hey, back up. I'll take care of this.
Yep.
Jimenez got the worse for wear, but the referee says that it was he that initiated the contact first before Segerist then had the quick takedown that gives Indy a restart opportunity here in the 74th minute.
Right, and you look at Openo from the opening whistle. He got on the watch list with the official, and then even though he's on the bench, he finished the conversation and finalized the yellow.
Wild awaits the whistle. Plays it short to Nicky Law. Law now looks back post, headed down, but Hubbard is there.
It's tough.
Couple of good touches. Needed one more person to provide traffic to make that work.
Yeah, and you saw the difference in some of the tactics right now. When you looked at this early corner kick that was over a hit for LouCity, that ball was headed back across the middle to give somebody a chance. And in this one, I know Ouimet's backpedaling, but that ball's headed on frame in a non-dangerous ball for Hubbard instead of back across the middle.
Ouimet will sky this one.
Gibson is such a connector. Pulls that, but wherever there's trouble, he goes. He goes wherever there's trouble, pulls the ball off of that trouble pocket, and then finds a release for him. Just nice, easy, simple stuff. Never gets himself into any kind of trouble.
Gibby spent time with San Antonio, Rayo OKC, the San Francisco Deltas, and FC Cincinnati before making his way to Indy for the last 2 years. Ownby plays it across. Headed down, just not on target. Gonzalez trying to get himself in a predicament where he could get a shooting scenario. He does not, but he does earn a corner. young man that's in the last couple of years playing for the Portland Timbers 2. There is no Timbers 2 this year, so the Timbers loaned him to LouCity. Gonzalez had 32 goals in 68 matches played. He's 22 years of age. Played at SIU Edwardsville, not too far down the road. Boyle and Sissoko amongst the players warming up if need be for Indy. Torres and Lou, the other two substitutes available for Max Rogers, have called upon tonight. Gómez sends it in at the near post. Not much Louisville could do with that. Moon making a long distance run. Hubbard is able to wait until that ball gets to the 18 and makes a relatively basic play. Tonight's broadcast presented in part by Mentor Insurance. Everybody needs a mentor.
Great pressure by Greg.
Hackshaw trying to work that ball out, and finally Greg enough of a forearm where Hackshaw wins the battle. And the 11, knowing they're down by 2 goals, does not waste time. While we're focused on that, action picks up at the other end of the pitch. Or you can get 2, you got to get 1. That will not help the cause for Indy. Segrist had stopped his forward momentum. Young man on loan from Inter Miami. Draft pick of the New York Red Bulls a season ago out of Marquette University.
And that's the thing that you want to try and steer away from, is everything being a big ball over the top. You do still need to have some build. See if you can't create some opportunities. Get a higher percentage build.
Louisville is on the road for a couple more before they return home. They will play at Memphis next Saturday. Indy plays at Memphis on Wednesday. Foul whistled against Indy. And our lead referee going to come over and talk to our 4th official. Not sure what the conversation's about here. Whatever it was a brief one. Again, a reminder, we will have the road broadcast at Memphis 901 on Wednesday night. Rod and I will have that one at 8 o'clock back over on My Indy TV 23. In fact, our 2 road broadcasts we have left are both from downtown Memphis. We'll have a game on the final night of the season on October the 30th, and we hope it has playoff implications to it. And Indy currently in 6th. They're a point back of OKC Energy. They are level on points with Atlanta United, but it is important to point out, even though AU2 has to come back here one more time, in fact, the next home match on October the 2nd, Indy has already lost the tiebreaker with Atlanta. So they have to finish ahead of AU2 in terms of the race for that final playoff spot. We'll spend more time in the postgame show talking about that. Foul whistled against Louisville. Foul drawn by Nick Moon. Keel Watts, native of Fort Wayne, appears to be the next LouCity player that could be heading towards the 4th official. Defensive substitution. Long distance ball. Segrist arcing towards it. Tosh.
Well played by Tosh.
Will make sure he keeps him away from the ball. Yellow card is shown.
You probably have a record of this kind of stuff jumping around in your mind somewhere.
If not, I will make it up and make it sound convincing.
What are the most yellow cards we've seen in a match that we've done? We got to be getting close.
There's not been as many yellows shown this year. I go back to the night in 2015 where the Indy 11 finished the match playing 11v8 against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. We had a match last year, against St. Louis that finished 11v9 for the Indy 11. So the reds tend to be a little more memorable than, say, the yellows.
You're killing me.
You ask and I answer. That's the way that this works. McCabe. Haven't called his name much since entering the fray. One of those long-time members of LouCity. The 6 newcomers on their roster this year. Gibson and Gonzalez amongst that group we're seeing on the pitch tonight. Consistency, consistency, consistency has been the hallmark of LouCity. Ownby gives it a go and heads up first row BYB.
Tell you, that ball just kept bouncing between defenders and his feet, and then laid up nicely where it was dropping, which allows him to put a little bit of topspin on that ball to see if he can't dip it over far.
Of course, consistency as well for LouCity in terms of their success in the postseason. They have reached the conference finals in at least, if not more, in every year of their existence. That included last year. The Tampa Bay Rowdies beat them. Of course, we do not have a USL championship match a season ago. Arteaga continuing to battle.
What's crazy, every franchise, every career, every buddy in pro sports has a dip at some point. You wonder when LouCity's is going to be. The level of consistency and championship pedigree that they've shown over the years is impressive. This year they've only got 1 win in their last 5, and usually this time of year they're starting to peak. And so, I come into this match and I'm thinking, is there a little dip? No, not what I'm seeing.
Nice to have those dips when you're still in first place, isn't it?
It's incredible.
So Watts is going to enter the fray here in a matter of moments. Looks like McLaughlin will join in as well for LouCity. Gibson wins that one away from Gordon Weil. Tank might about be on E for Gordon Weil at this point.
Yeah, if you're Indy, you need something to happen. Occasionally one of these bounces has to go your way. Good touch. Good turn
by Arteaga. And Swahi will get an immediate yellow. And Arteaga in a bad way on the turf. And again, that was a tactical takedown, not meant to injure Arteaga. That was simply an acknowledgement, hey, I'm beaten. We're up 2 goals. I will slow the player however I can.
It's a great turn by Arteaga, and he's in. He'll be at the top of the box in one more touch. And that's why he just rolls over on him, and you hope nothing got caught in the awkward position as the weight came down.
That magic cold spray being applied to Manuel Arteaga. Let's hope it works again.
Hey, Jorge!
Oh, yeah. Just came down on that leg awkwardly.
Not the weight of 1 player, but 2 going on the leg of Arteaga at that point. And this is where we point out the Indy 11 played this Wednesday, play again the following Sunday, play again the following Wednesday, play again the following Saturday. And it's not a roster that is loaded with a great amount of depth at this juncture. We've had players like Cammy Smith, Nedeljko Malic, and Jordan Hamilton all depart, and again, currently no Peter Lee Vossel. And at some point, do you almost wave the white flag on this one, saying, okay, let's save resources for Memphis on Wednesday night?
Can I tell you, after this restart?
My guess is your answer is going to be the same regardless, which is no, but just throwing it out there for consideration. There's multiple topics we can discuss right now, like, for example, your 5 favorite state fair foods. Keep it, as it pertains to soccer.
Fried Snickers, fried dough, fried butter is actually something pretty good. Elephant ears, and then you got to go with corn dogs.
And since you'd like to link these 2 communities, they both host their respective state fairs in Indiana and Kentucky, in Indianapolis and Louisville.
Beautiful.
I think bingo was the word you were looking for. Wild sends it in. Shaw. Oh, good ball. Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of this match presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Buckmaster.
Just enough contact from Buckmaster, let that ball drop to Moon.
And Greg will sweep it away, but Nicky Law waiting at the edge of the 18. By the way, Arteaga has rejoined the fray, but not exactly going at full speed. And again, there's not much in the way of attacking substitutions you can make in terms of Arteaga. Good news is, again, he's not at a full gallop, but he's fighting on as best he can. Jimenez looks like he's done for the night. Here comes Akil Watts again. Akil is from Fort Wayne. Now, he played his soccer growing up at IMG Academy in Florida. He was identified as a young talent at such an age. Has spent time on both the rosters of the Portland Timbers and Mallorca over in La Liga before joining LouCity. Segrist had the sprint going, but it's wild. The track's back to start the attack going the opposite direction. Hackshaw and Ownby bump knees.
Yeah, I think in answer to your question, I'm reaching for that white flag at this point and saying, okay, we can't come out of here with the game on Wednesday, with guys like Arteaga and Hackshaw dinged up.
It goes back to kind of the conversations we've had, and obviously because of the rivalry that these two communities feel for each other in any athletic competition. But that these clubs have built up over the course of the last 4 seasons, especially, to get fired up for this match. But as it pertains to the standings, Indy is not in Louisville stratosphere right now. They're just not. The battle in terms of the standings is Oklahoma City, Atlanta United 2, and Memphis. That's the company Indianapolis is keeping, Indy is keeping, as far as the 4th and final playoff position. And again, Indy a point back of OKC. They'll play in Oklahoma City twice in 4 days. Next Sunday, the following Wednesday. Memphis is in their rearview mirror. They go to Memphis twice to close out the season, including on Wednesday night. And Atlanta United 2 level on points with Indy, but they own the tiebreaker with Indy. They come here in 2 weeks.
And that's where you had a game in hand tonight, and you were hoping to pull a point. OKC pulled one against LouCity last week, and that's what got them in that 4th spot. And a win today, if you got the 3 points, that puts you in that 4th spot. But you just want to breathe a little bit easier by being above that line. You talk about Memphis and having to go down there a couple times. Memphis, because they got a late start on games. Their schedule was so back-end loaded that Memphis has got a handful of games in on everybody. So even though they're a little bit further down the table, they got a whole lot more points in front of them.
Opportunity for Gonzalez. Gonzalez! Side netting.
What fight. It's great positioning by Far. He had the whole goal cut.
Masoso, the takeaway from Kofi.
What fight.
3 minutes left in this match. Greg trying to work around Ouimet. Off the boot of Carl Ouimet. To the corner flag we go. By the way, Atlanta United 2 losing Tampa Bay Rowdies by a score of 2-0. Tampa Bay, by the way, has now set the league's new shutout streak record. They have not allowed a goal in 771 minutes.
Crazy. That's just crazy.
It was set by Rio Grande Valley some 5 years ago. At halftime, Austin Bold leading FC Tulsa 1-0. That's good news for Louisville. Again, Tulsa Probably not exactly in the conversation as far as Indy in a playoff spot right now. Greg will simply hold this up as best he can. Another throw-in coming here.
Yeah, they're not competing with a spot with Tulsa, but Tulsa is the hottest team in the division right now. I think 5 straight wins.
Birmingham and OKC Energy tied at 1. Again, potentially another point where OKC can stretch that lead a little bit more in terms of that 4th and final playoff position. Farr will track that one down. Restart immediate. And Hubbard will carve out a few more seconds before playing that one.
And you look at that play, and you look at the play from Ownby here in the corner, and those are white flag balls from Louisville saying, hey, let's not put anybody in jeopardy. Right. Let's, I'm not going to serve a ball into a box where somebody might have some contact and we lose somebody.
These two teams will play one more time. October the 16th as Ownby and Segrist get tied up. Segrist deemed to have committed the infraction. And a playoff spot not in question for LouCity. They are trying to play for home games as long as they possibly can. They're the 1 seed. They're guaranteed at least 1, not necessarily 2 because of how the points could shake out. And again, Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh both are ahead of Louisville in terms of points right now. A lot of soccer left to play.
Kofi.
Pretty good skill by Gershon Kofi.
Unreal.
You really credit Arteaga for continuing to play through that leg injury he had earlier. Draws the foul here. Handful of seconds left to go in this one. The outcome is determined. Could there be one more goal in it for the Indy 11? Ball sent in. Nobody there back post. Swept to the side by LouCity. As we watch the restart about to happen, we look at our match referee, a glance toward his wristwatch. Segrist rifles that one off of Akil Watts. And that's it. LouCity got a goal lead and absolutely closed this one out.